Now, Tucson is full of environmentally conscious people who use eco-friendly practices every day. Now, this weekend, many of them are opening their doors to the public so that we can all learn how to preserve our city. Here to give us the details are Dan Stormont and Jamie Manser. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Such a pleasure. So let's talk about Watershed Management Group, because you guys are really the ones putting on this tour for people to be able to see this. So tell us a little bit about the group.
Well, Watershed Management Group is a nonprofit here in Tucson, about a decade old, and the objective of Watershed Management, our goal is to help to be able to help restore the aquifers and restore the flow of the rivers. That's our long-term goal. We do that through education, outreach, like the Homescape Harvest Tour.
Right.
And we also help people to do things in their own yards. We have a co-op workshop where it's like neighbor working with their neighbor. And we also have the ability to do a complete project from start to finish. So we have like a design build process as well that people, if they don't want to do the work, they can just have somebody do it for them.
Well, I think it's wonderful what you're saying, because it's really a group effort. And we have to remind everybody that everyone has to chip in order for us to be able to sort of save the environment, save our city, preserve water, you know, reclaim water, etc. So tell us about the tour and how it's going to help people see how it's done.
The tour is fantastic. This is our 7th year, and it is becoming a tradition in Tucson where homes, organizations, and schools open their doors and their grounds to the community at large to showcase their eco-friendly practices such as rainwater harvesting, graywater harvesting, solar power generation, and sustainable gardening. And for this year, we have 22 sites on the tour where people can go, and the locations are all across Tucson, mostly in the central area, but we do have locations on the northeast side and the south, or the northwest side and the southeast side of town.
Got it. And of course, we want people to learn how to do this. We want to educate them. But what else do you really, if they show up and they go through this tour, what do you want them to walk away with?
We want them to walk away with ideas to create their own eco-paradise. Really, it's a way to connect people to sustainable water use, where they can make a beautiful oasis in their own yard by using rainwater and graywater harvesting. And one of the stops on the tour, the first stop, is Watershed Management Group. And at our location, we have 3 cisterns that meets all of our water needs.
Wow.
From the water that we drink as staff members to all the plants that we water. One of our cisterns is a 10,000-gallon underground cistern.
Incredible.
It's
okay,
great.
So people might be wondering, they're hearing harvesting water, harvesting rainwater and gray water. What does that really mean, Dan?
Well, what it really means is we have ample rain here. Even though we're in the desert, we get about 12 to 14 inches of rain per year here in Tucson. And as Jamie just mentioned, when you harvest that rainwater and make use of it, you treat it as a resource instead of something to be gotten rid of, then you have ample water to be able to meet your needs for watering your plants, for being able to, we drink our water, so we filter it and we drink it as well. So you can actually meet all of your water needs with the rain that falls from the sky. So rainwater harvesting is just collecting that either in earthworks or in cisterns. A cistern is the big rain tank that most people think of when they think of rainwater harvesting. And also you can use gray water. So you reuse that gently used water, you know, the water that you rinse your vegetables with or that you wash your clothes with. You can also use that to water the higher water use things like fruit trees and things like that, which really are not native to the desert, but you can water them if you're using gray water. And we teach people how to do that.
That's excellent. Now, people might be thinking too, do I have to have a lot of land in order to be able to do this? Or do I have to have a huge cistern? How can anybody really get involved in this?
Anyone can do it, and anyone should do it. Most of your plots in the urban part of town are 1/5 of an acre or so, which is plenty to be able to collect water for watering a native landscape, for watering a small number of fruit trees. Yeah, you're not going to produce, like, you can't have a whole fruit grove in 1/5 of an acre, but you can certainly have a beautiful landscape that is native landscaped and it's all fed by rainwater.
Wow. And really quick, the River Run Network.
River Run Network, well, as I mentioned earlier, we're trying to restore the flow of the rivers and restore our aquifers here in Tucson. And the River Run Network is our overarching way of doing that. So the River Run Network is a thing anyone can get involved with. I mean, it can be as simple as, I would just like to commit to saving water. So, I'm going to conserve water, however that is, whether I'm just like doing a bucket and chuck it where I fill up my water from my sink and just put it on my plants outside, or whether they're going to go full out to do rainwater harvesting systems with a cistern and everything else. And there's also a citizen science component to that. So we have what's called our Flow 365 monitoring network, where citizen scientists go to various locations along our rivers to see how long the water is flowing for after rain events, so that we can get an idea of how effective our efforts have been and what the status of our waters are here in Tucson.
Wow, well certainly it's about getting in touch with Tucson, getting in touch with our sources, and we can really make a difference going forward if we tap into that. So I want to thank you guys so much for doing this, first of all, and for coming on and talking to us.
Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Now, Watershed Management Group's 7th annual Homescape Harvest Tour is taking place this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., starting off at 1137 North Dodge Boulevard. For more information, visit watershedmg.org or call 396-3266.